And a jolly good afternoon to you from a bright and breezy July afternoon here in the town of Luton, Bedfordshire, England, United Kingdom. And just a short one today, about a 45-minute walk using my old friend the Go Jauntly app. I've just popped in the amount of time or distance really, which equates to about 45 minutes in time to squeeze in a walk that I can manage in the time I've got available today. I'm at Luton Station, just outside. There's some police cars going off. It's quite noisy. It's quite a busy part of town here. It's the exchange, Luton interchange, with the buses, taxis, and of course the railway station just over there. So I've put in 2.5 miles, which should take around about 45 minutes to complete. Looks like I'm heading down towards Wardown Park, and we'll have a little look around, see what's going on in Luton today. It's just a normal Wednesday afternoon. Weather's quite nice, it's quite warm, quite humid, not particularly, I wouldn't say as warm as it should be for the middle of July, but it's certainly a nice day for going for a stroll. And let's see what we see. So Luton's one of those towns in England that has a bit of a bad reputation for not looking beautiful. A victim of 60s and 70s planning mistakes, I would say, and that lives on now. It's got a fairly impressive industrial history with the Vauxhall plant and the hat making industry that was here and associated industries for all of those. So it has got a strong history of being a working class town with lots of industry. Of course, a lot of those industries have gone now. Some of them have just changed through time, and Luton has changed with it. So just left Station Road now, just outside the Oyo Hotel. Had to stay in there once many years ago. It wasn't called that. I can't remember what it was called now. It will come back to me, but it's had a fairly recent name change. Have to say it wasn't the best when I had to stay in it. It was due to a last minute flight cancellation, and that's where I ended up. So bus driver's aiming for me. So just going up to Old Bedford Road, and I think I'll be taking crossing over and just heading down there towards the new Bedford Road. The app seemed to change its mind then and has sent me up Old Bedford Road. Must be coming back via New Bedford Road, I think, or I don't know. Certainly the route it's given me for my 2.5 miles available walking time is towards Wardown Park, which is always a nice little park to walk around in any case. Certainly one of the nicer parts of Luton, and I think one of Luton's biggest problems is littering and looking a bit unloved a lot of the time. And the problem with that is, of course, that once it starts, it's a slippery slope. People think that nobody's bothered, so they don't bother, and the whole thing snowballs out of control. But looking around here today, just in this little part on Old Bedford Road, it doesn't actually look too bad, but sometimes when you scratch below the surface and have a little look, it can be pretty grotty. I'm not saying this is certainly not unique to Luton by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of towns in the UK are like that, as I've pointed out on some of my other videos. If you take the road up there, you'll come out towards Hightown, another area of Luton. Everyone seems to be in a bit of a hurry today with all the wheels squealing that's going on. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. It's quite a hilly little town, Luton. It's just nestled under the Chiltern Hills and has the River Lee going through it, which rises just north of here in Leagrave and runs all the way through to Hertfordshire, through Hertfordshire into North London and into the Thames under various guises as the River Lee and the Lee Navigation. I do have some cars, very noisy cars today. I do have some videos of the full walk of the River Lee all the way from Luton to the River Thames, and if you're interested in that, there's 8 episodes plus a bonus 9 high-speed episode showing the full walk at high speed all the way from Luton to London. You may be interested in that, you may not be. Check out the channel anyway, you might find something on there of interest if that isn't of particular interest to you. Let's come to the wickets just past Cromwell Hill, actually, just back there. That would have led us down to the New Bedford Road, or the A6. Just over to my right is Pope's Meadow, which is another nice green space that's pretty good for having a little walk around. Take your dogs for a walk and then up into the woods over there. It's quite a large space actually, so that's it's not short of green spaces, Luton, and as I say, close to the Chiltern Hills, it's not too difficult to get out onto the hills as well, should you wish to. So I'm just turning on to Knight's Field now, which will lead me down to Wardown Park. In fact, I can just see the lake at Wardown Park with the ducks on it just from here, just through the trees there. And here we are at Wardown Park. It's got a nice boating lake here. I'm not sure too much boating goes on it these days, but it certainly used to do back in the olden days. There's one end of the park, right up the other end there's the Luton Museum, which is pretty interesting actually. A lot of information on the local history to do with the industry here, the football team, and quite a few other interesting facts. And this park has got quite a interesting history to it as well. The waters, it's fed by the waters of the River Lee that just divert off to form this lake, and then continue off at the end of the lake down there, and winds its way through the centre of Luton, mostly underground I have to say. It's been built over the years before it comes out again once you've got past Luton Airport. Out the town and near Luton Airport Parkway, it mostly is above ground again, or not covered over anyway. Really a nice day actually in the park today, not too many people about. As I say, it's a normal working day, so most people will be still at work or heading home from school. Bandstand over there, quite often a place for people to congregate, particularly on rainy days. Acts as a sort of a shelter. Not seen any bands playing on there recently, but I dare say there are sometimes. And the old boathouse over there, which is where you used to hire your boats from. Some interesting old pictures on the other side of the boathouse, as it happens, showing what it used to look like many years ago, when a trip to Wardown Park was probably akin to going on a break, a day trip to the seaside, when travelling wasn't quite so easy as it is now. So just over here in the corner is where the River Lee filters its way in to this man-made lake area here in the park. The river's rises not that far away from here in Leegrave, and slowly trickles its way down the hill from Leegrave. Quite a bit of it underground again on the other side of the A6, the New Bedford Road over there. It runs, and then it runs underground just across the park there, and joins the lake just here to keep it well fed with water. Quite a decent flow of water coming out today. And as I say, it runs out the other end and continues as a river, mostly underneath Luton. Quite a strong smell of funky tobacco going on just there. I get a feeling that that's a place to go and sit and while away a few hours while indulging. Not that I would recommend such things, but there you go. Each to their own. Let's get up towards where the museum is now. Certainly shan't be going in there today. Definitely haven't got time for that. But as I say, I'll just reiterate, the museum over there is well worthy of a visit and pretty interesting, especially if you're interested in local history. So apart from the obvious lake and grassy areas, there are some public toilets. There's the museum. Wardown House Museum and Gallery. I was calling it the Luton Museum, but it's Wardown House Museum and Gallery. But it is very much focused on Luton itself. Got a play area right up the other end of the park. Bowling greens and tennis courts, and each to their own in many other ways as well. Just been invited to a Jehovah's Witness weekend event in Milton Keynes. I shan't be taking that up, but nice lady all the same. There's the tennis courts just over there. Of course, tennis courts are particularly popular on and around when Wimbledon and on and around when Wimbledon's on, really. Everyone suddenly becomes the next Martina Navratilova, or whoever the latest is. Shows my knowledge of tennis, doesn't it? Not actually been up through this part of the park before, I have to say. I'm just following the app, the Go Jaunt app, and it normally sends me back down that way towards the play area and the exit at the other end. But I believe today the circular walk is going to take me through the other grassy area that I pointed out earlier on. Basketball court as well there, or netball, is it? Netball, basketball, I don't know. And we're back onto, we're just running next to Old Bedford Road again. Nice road with some nice houses on it, and possibly not the sort of image of Luton most people expect. So It's not all that you think it might be, although I have to say, and as I've said for the last probably 40 years or so, the sooner they put a bomb on the what I refer to as the Arndale Centre, level it and start again, the better, because that is some hideous, horrible, ugly looking building without any shadow of a doubt. But some people might like it. It certainly serves a purpose, of course, as a shopping mall, but in terms of the improving the aesthetics of the centre of Luton, it does absolutely nothing whatsoever. Nothing at all. Just passing Bowling Green Lane now again, as you'll see. Some really rather nice houses just along here. This would have been a swanky, or still is I suppose, a swanky part of town to live in. So this is probably where you'd arrive at Wardown Park if you were coming by car, as that's where the car park is, and the car park's also handy for the museum. I can't tell you if you have to pay for parking though. I imagine you probably do, but I've never noticed really. It's certainly not something I'll be doing. A crazy golf? I think it must be. It's probably seen better days. Maybe it's still operational. Probably could do with a bit of a refurbishment. So Wardown Park is still to my right, and will be so for the next 100 yards or so, and then Pope's Meadow will appear on the left, and that's where this walk will continue. So just over to my right is the children's playground, playground for young children, infant school and younger. And another entrance, non-vehicular entrance to the park, just on the right there. And when it's safe to do so, I'm going to nip across here, head into Pope's Meadow. Steeper than it looks, this hill. And once you get up here, you get a reasonably nice little view over Luton. Going mostly streets now back to Luton Station, probably 3/4 of the way around this circular walk. You can see the chalk of the Chiltern Hills poking through here, as it does all around this part of the country. To refer to it as People's Park just here, and Pope's Meadow on the app, so I don't know where the dividing line between the two is. Rather strangely, the app is saying that the park here up on the left is People's Park. The sign back there would suggest it's where the app is telling me Pope's Meadow is, so I don't know if there's some mix up here or it's all People's Park and different parts of it have got different names. Never noticed that before actually, and I do walk around here quite frequently as it happens. Sign there definitely points back to where I've just come from as Pope's Meadow and Wardown Park. I'd say this is the People's Park. I don't know what's going on back there with that sign. Very intriguing. And of course, where there's open spaces, a bit of sunshine and people like me, there is usually a ice cream van. It's going to be good today though, and refrain. Can't beat a nice ice cream though. So sort of looked like it was a Mr. Whippy type, the creamy stuff. Quite like that. Can start to smell some of the coming up towards Hightown now. Just smell some of the takeaways and restaurants or cafes and so on that are just along here. Starting to I seem to know who was wanting to go then. I think some seem to be confused there about what constitutes the right of way and what doesn't. Yeah. So when we get up to the top here, we'll be on Hightown Road, where we'll take a right turn, and that will lead us straight back to the other side of Luton railway station, where this walk will end. You can walk through Luton railway station without the need of a ticket through the bridge over the top, and straight through there will take you through back into the centre of Luton. Always seems to be, well, I always think of this as a much more authentic part of Luton up here on Hightown, rather than the decimation that's George Street and where the mall is, the Arndale Centre. It seems to have a more of a, it's almost like a very small town, large village feel to it up here, in a way, with some mostly independent shops. Very big Polish supermarket there. Of course, there is a large Polish community here in Luton, but if you're not from that community, don't let it stop you going in the Polish supermarkets, because they have a great range of stuff in those places, stuff you may not have necessarily seen before, or different versions of what you have seen before. Well, they do some nice food. Certainly no shortage of takeaways along here. That's the end of Hightown Road, just passing the Railway Tavern, which is rather apt, seeing as we're just arriving at the railway station, the Midland Road entrance to the station, that is. And there we go, back to where we started, albeit at the top of the steps instead of the bottom of them. And so that was approximately 4 kilometres, 2.5 miles, and took just over 40 for a circular walk from Luton railway station. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click the like button, subscribe for see whatever else is on the channel that might interest you, and apparently if you click on the little bell, that will notify you when new videos are uploaded. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you again in the next one. Cheers for now. Bye bye.